What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Creative Control, the podcast where we dive into music, God, and the intersection of faith and creativity. Today on the podcast, we have my friend and videographer extraordinaire. You know him, you love him. CINEMADDOX. Garrett, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, man. How's it?
You insisted on doing
we should do it again.
You insisted on doing the walk-in.
We should here. Let's start over.
Okay.
We're gonna do it again.
Okay, we're doing the whole walk-in.
I want to walk in again because I didn't like the way I walked in.
Okay, I don't know if you're being serious or.
I want to do the walk in. Here, stop.
Okay.
I respect you. I love you. You're the best. You're the best.
Okay.
But you edit these, right? Okay. So
Okay.
we're gonna stop here.
All right.
You actually.
All right. Welcome to Creative Control podcast, where we jump into creativity, faith, the intersection. I'm no big deal.
Big guy for extraordinaire. Yeah, CINEMADDOX. Welcome to the show.
Is it okay? That's more your speed.
My speed.
Yeah.
Listen, man. I didn't like that either. I didn't like that either. I was trying to do
that's the one though.
So the first time I felt like it was too timid and like too like. I just felt
what happened to you is the same thing that happened to Sarah. Is in your head. It seems like a good idea, and you're thinking.
I thought it was great.
You're thinking you're gonna get the audio that you're used to when you see those things in a clip.
Which I did, by the way. Which I did.
You did.
I got a clap.
But it feels different than what it looks like.
Very different.
It feels bad.
But it came in. It felt timid. It felt shameful.
Yeah.
It felt.
It's carpet. You don't even hear your foot.
I could feel my heart beating when I did it, and I didn't like that feeling. So I wanted to do it again, and thought maybe I come in
You'll make
confident.
It bigger.
No, just like coming confident, like more confident than I actually am.
You did come in more confident. I think you might have overcompensated.
Okay, so we'll cut right here. One last time.
Have time for
we
this,
will just one last time,
okay.
please.
All right, it's your show, I guess. I'm just
no. This is your show.
It.
I love you. I respect you.
All right,
of course.
Okay, third time. I want you guys to know that this is not planned out at all. I didn't think any of this was going to happen, and I don't enjoy it. I don't like it, and I don't. I don't respect it, quite frankly. But all right, hey guys, my name is No Big Deal. This is Creative Control, where we dive into music, God, and the intersection of creativity and faith. My guest today, videographer extraordinaire, and my friend CINEMADDOX. Garrett, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, man.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. That intro felt good. Just solid, one and done. We didn't have to do.
One and done. Okay.
Yeah, we don't have to redo it anymore. I know some people aren't always able to. I was surprised that I was able just to walk in and do it.
Yeah, so. You just have a star-like quality about you that allows you to just kind of kill it. First take, no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No edits.
Yeah.
That's kind of your thing. It's kind of what you're known for.
Yeah. No edits.
Yeah. No edits.
Yeah. I'm known for not editing.
Yeah. Just like one shot, one take.
Everything.
One opportunity. Would you take it? Would you just let it slip? Palms are sweaty.
Palms. Meatloaf.
Okay. Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
We have a long history together, obviously.
Yeah.
For the people who might not know, in your recollection, how did we meet?
How did we meet? The first time we met, was I at did I meet at your house the first time? Like in person? Or was that like a coffee shop?
How did
we cross paths?
Yes.
So the way you and I ended up crossing paths in life was via my brother, my older brother.
Yes.
Which is very strange.
It is strange.
And still odd to me to this day, to him. He can't believe it either. That he sparked that. But what happened is my older brother was doing videography for a short season. Like he was just kind of trying it out as like a business model. Essentially, he's a businessman. He's an entrepreneurial spirit. So he was like, "Oh, this video stuff you're doing, I could probably try that and make some money doing it."
So you were doing video first.
I've been doing video since I was like 10 years old, just as a passion.
Okay.
And he knew that I would, kind of wanted to do it as a business, and he saw it as a market as well. And he was like, "Let me give it a shot and kind of do it alongside you." And so he started picking up gigs like immediately, whereas I was getting nothing. And it taught me a lot because he actually showed me kind of the ropes in a way where he was like, "Here's what you need to do. Here's like the things you're not doing,
Was
business
it like,
wise.
Okay, so like the business and marketing side was kind of what
it was very beneficial in that way, because he was able to wake me up to a lot of things, to be like, you need to be doing this stuff if you're actually trying to get work in this field and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so he had that over, like, he had some, he's one of those brothers where like he's kind of like the Midas touch. So it's like he wasn't bad when he first started. Yeah. So like he was immediately able to like go to Guatemala, shoot this documentary, like do these different things for people. But still, like, overall in the grand scheme of things, just some light work here and there as he was doing his other jobs. Yeah. So you might pick up on some more details than I can remember, but I recall like a cold email from him to you saying essentially, are you looking for anyone to do video work for anything? And you answered and said, yeah, I actually could use somebody to film like a promo for Shakira. Yes. And so he filmed the infamous
Shakira promo, yes.
He filmed that Shakira promo with y'all. It was funny. Like, y'all had a good time doing
hilarious.
It. Yeah.
Slightly problematic, but awesome. Very funny.
But that's why.
And that's where we were at the time.
Yeah. Yeah. And I kind of wish we'd go back, to be honest.
It was effective.
But he filmed that, made that for y'all. And then, I don't know, there was some time in between, I think, to the next time that you like hit him up about helping you film like another promo for something. And at that point he had already kind of transitioned out of doing like some video work to he got a job at Boeing and was kind of going more for his corporate career, and was kind of leaving that aside. Money. Basically he wanted to make money. So he goes,
said this art stuff is not,
it's not it.
It's not where the bag is.
But he looked at me and he goes, but if this is what you want to do, then if this is it for you, because it's not for me, then let me know and I'll give him your information. I'll give him your number and let him know, like, hey, just hit up my little brother. Yeah. Because he does video work too. Right. Which what he's really trying to say is he's trying to do video work. Yeah. So you can hit him up. And that's kind of the genesis of that. And then you took him up on the offer, hit me up. I don't know if you had any good reason.
I was skeptical at first because I was like, to me, we shot the Shakira promo. It was very, very funny. And it had like a lot of success. It was a big part of like Shakira having a big like release. And so when he said, oh, I can't do it anymore, but check out my little brother, I was like, bro, is like, are you passing me off on your little brother? Like,
is he like 14?
Yeah. He's like, yeah, I can't do it, but my little brother can do it, who I've never heard of. I've never seen any video from you or anything. Nothing. So I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'm just getting,
And I really didn't have much of a portfolio at the time. Like, I had done some stuff here and there and kind of learned the ropes, but like not.
That was the thing. There was like, it was just like
nothing to base it off of.
But he said, he was like, actually this was later after like we met, we did some stuff together. We can go back to that. Yeah. But then later he told me, he was like, yeah, like my brother actually has always been better than me.
Crazy. He still never said that to my face.
He's never said that to your face?
Still never.
He told me that later. He was like, honestly, like I was in over my head. My brother's always been better. But I was trying to keep that from you while I was working with you. Yeah. But then once I wasn't anymore, I was like, well, I'll just give him the A team. So you actually were the A team.
He co-signed me as the A team. Like he said, he basically like, I've been keeping a secret from you. Yeah. Well, I don't want to paint him in a bad light. He would say that to my face. I'm just saying that he's never actually said it to my face.
You are much better than him.
Of course. Yeah. Of course. Yeah, that's no question. Even at the time.
He wasn't just like.
No, honestly, even at the time, I was better. Yeah. So that's why I was bamboozled and baffled whenever he was immediately picking up paying work. Yeah. And I was like, what? How?
Well, I mean, I feel like there's like even a lesson in here for like creatives watching this, that like you had the creativity, you by both of y'all's accounts and mine had like a better spark of the videography creativity than your brother, but his business acumen and like his marketing, his putting himself out there, the cold email, like grinding, all that is what put him like
absolutely
initially in that position to get these jobs. So it's like it takes both of them.
Yeah,
you know?
I would have never. I think his backstory on that is like he even thought to hit you up because he was listening to some of your music then, and like he had heard some of your music. He was familiar with you as an artist, and he knew you were kind of in the Christian hip hop realm, but that wasn't even like what he was like heavy listening to at the time. Like he's like hip hop's never been like his genre.
Yeah.
But at the time, I think he had just come across your music, and I think he saw you on an article somewhere that like learned that you were a Tennessee artist.
Yeah, yeah.
I think something about that to him, he was like, "Oh, that's cool." Like he's a Tennessee guy, he's from Tennessee, he reps it.
Yeah.
Middle Tennessee, and he liked your music, so he was like, "I'm just gonna try this guy out and see if he wants something." Yeah. I don't know. Did he do that for free? What was that? I feel like
I have no idea.
Yeah, I feel like that first one, it was like just like almost like a layup kind of thing.
2017. I have no idea. If I didn't have much money to give him at that time for sure. So even if he did get paid, it was closer to free than what I would pay him now.
Yeah, you know? yeah, exactly.
So
it's just weird how all that connected and tied into that.
Yeah,
and it's really crazy. That's why I always am thankful for him, because obviously there's a ton of stuff that I still had to show up for myself and do my part. And there's a ton of things that I've gotten just completely on my own. Well, I won't say completely on my own. God and me.
Yeah.
God leading me to stuff. But that sparked a lot of things, because that sparked this relationship, and this relationship has sparked a ton of things for me.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's just kind of a cool like chain reaction thing for me. So shout out to Grant. He's been
shout out Grant, man.
Pivotal part of my life and career.
Yeah. So what was the first thing we worked on together?
First thing we did, so we started out doing like promotional kind of content.
Yeah.
You were releasing Solar, or Solar had just come out.
Yeah.
And that was in that kind of season. And I don't remember if this was the first. Maybe there was like a smaller video we did that I'm not remembering. But the one that comes to mind is a promo video we did for Solo, where you were kind of doing like a storytelling kind of video with a voiceover. Video. Yes, the Phase 2 video.
Carry Your Light?
Yes, the Carry Your Light.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even remember the title of that. Yes, that's exactly what it was.
And it was like we had, it was like a visual representation of carrying your light, and I think it was like in a bag or something.
Yeah, we were using a bag as like the metaphor for like somebody carrying something around.
Yeah.
And then like kind of revealing at the end with like a hard cut. It was very like, I don't want to say it was very intimidating, but for it being the first thing that we did together, and I had thankfully done some of my fair share with like church and stuff, of like stuff that has to do with, okay, we're getting metaphorical with the video, we're trying to tell a story. But still, for that being the first thing, it wasn't just some like promotional social media.
No, that's big. That's crazy. That was our first.
I was like,
one.
kind of like, oh shoot, like I hope I don't mess this up. Like we worked on it together, but still, like you were like trying to have me brainstorm the ideas for it and stuff, and I was like, okay, we're diving right in. Like he wants me to do like a storytelling video.
Yeah, that one was super involved. That one, like, is that the one where we like me and Chelsea were arguing in the kitchen?
Yeah,
in slow motion.
Yeah, I think it was part of the same video. That too. Yeah.
Slam the door.
We did a lot of scenes to put into that. And then like you had the voiceover.
The driving scene.
All of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit of an ambitious first thing to do. But I was like confident and just like ready to dive in. And I was like, I just need him to not feel like this is the first time. Like that this is like a lot for the first time.
No, I was super impressed with it, and it actually turned out like amazing. Like
I enjoyed how it turned out. I was very satisfied at the moment with like how that all came together.
I think it set up the project well, and I think that ambition piece that you talk about, that's something that like we connect. I think that's one of the reasons we connect on so many different projects, is just having that like audacity and to have these very big ambitious ideas, maybe before you've ever done something like that before. You don't necessarily know how the technical aspect is going to work out, but you've come up with the idea and you believe in it, and you know you're going to put the effort in and the creativity even of coming up how to work out the mechanics. We both do that.
Yes.
And so I think that's that's one of the reasons we've connected on so many things. Because you hadn't done anything like that.
No.
Before.
Not really. Not to that level or scale or anything. I had done a few things, like I said, for like church related things and stuff like that. But they were a lot more self-produced. A lot of times I was in them. And so it was just like a whole, it was the first time I'd for somebody else kind of done something like that to that level and like storytelling wise. So it definitely
you didn't have a metaphorical ball of righteousness that had to be carried through a video after starting with an actual married couple arguing, and you didn't.
Well, unfortunately, unfortunately, that was the second time I've done that video.
So you had done that.
Yeah, I hate to tell you, but actually, that was definitely a repeat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, it was just a rip off of something that.
Yeah, I didn't want to tell you because it was our first
youth group video.
But in the back of my head, I was like, all right, same old.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I thought that was
no, it was definitely the first time I'd done something like that. So I was intimidated a little bit by that, but I knew that what we were doing felt right because like the process with you, it didn't feel super stressful, and I was very happy that you were like immediately like receptive to my ideas. Yeah, like you being receptive to my ideas, I think is what made that work because it gave me the self-confidence to be like, because it's easy first time working with anybody to be like in that headspace of like, okay, I'm gonna have some ideas or try and have some ideas and let's see what they think. Let's see if they're receptive or not to my ideas. How much pushback is this person going to be easy to work with? And everyone has their different kind of, borders for that, I guess, But with you, it was like super natural. And you were like, hey, like, I want your ideas too. And then I listened to your ideas and we truly like were able to work. It felt like somebody that I was able to really work together on something. And so I have just like only good memories about making that for the first time and being like, okay, that was like a really smooth process, and for something that realistically probably should have stressed me out more in the moment, but it didn't. I don't recall it feeling stressful at all. It just felt like fun, like as we were making it. Because whether you were pretending or not, you were in the moment being like, kind of encouraging in your own way of like, this is good.
Well, I mean, for me at least, the best creative ideas come out of like, part of it is audacity. And then usually I know I'm on the right track if I feel like kind of a good type of fear, like where I'm basically at the boundaries of what I know I can do. Right. That's where I know, okay, that's something I should lean into. I should come up with a really big idea. Yeah. And yes, kind of like edit it until it's possible, if, I might come up with in the brainstorm, it might be like a Christopher Nolan film, like, you know what I mean? Like, let's blow up an actual airplane in the desert. Okay. We don't have the means to do that. Right. But let's dial it back down to something that is right outside the boundary of what I know we can execute.
Just a touch too far.
Just a little bit outside.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel like the best ideas come from.
I 100% agree. And I think I definitely learned that from working with you like the most. And I think at some point I realized, oh man, what monster have I created? Not just with you, but I'm talking about myself. Because I also, the reason that works is because I also want to do that. And so when you want to do that, I'm also like, oh yeah, that would be like, I have that thing in my brain that's like, I don't really know how to do that, but I kind of want to figure it out. And it's almost impressive to me, even still now, every time that someone like you is like, wants to go there with it. Yeah. It's almost like shocking because you're willing to take the risk a little bit and you're like giving me permission to like lean into that side of my brain that wants to like learn something on an actual project and something that's like a legit project that we're putting out. But most people might be too scared to like go all the way in on like a music video or something, that like has a lot of value to them. Whereas you are like, no, let's take the risk. So somebody giving me permission to like step over the edge a little bit there is like, that's what kind of would get me excited about it. And there were so many instances where we kept pushing it just a touch too far. Yeah. And, there's probably a couple times where
Can you think of any?
We broke it a little bit.
Like we went too far past the barrier?
Where maybe, at least for me in the process, I'm like, we took it too far.
Let's talk about some of the projects we've worked on.
We're in too deep.
And then see, like, kind of give people a picture of where we did hit that good balance of were right on that edge, and then some that like maybe we stepped over, because we've worked on a lot of different.
Well, I'd say ones that worked really well.
Yeah.
That you gave me permission to go further than maybe I would allow myself normally. Yeah. Were some of our early stuff, especially like our first music video together, Parabolic.
Yeah.
Where you were like, get weird with the edit, like do whatever. You kind of just like do whatever you want, and then I'll give notes.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, I don't do music videos really. You know, I've done like a handful of music videos or like music.
That's so crazy. That's gonna sound so wild to people listening and watching this that know you now. Yeah. Like know CINEMADDOX. Like they're gonna be like, Parabolic was your first music video?
It was I truly count it as like my first music video in like the style that people know. Yeah. And in the way that I had like full creative freedom. Mm-hmm. I had done a couple things for people before where I might have had some freedom, but it was mostly like, you know, your typical 1, maybe 2 camera shoot of like someone playing a guitar, singing, or like
basically performance videos.
Yeah, performance videos. Yeah. Or like if we want to be technical, my first music videos were with Aaron Dews.
Okay, yeah.
My first official music video ever that I count as like that's a music video is with Aaron Dews.
Yeah.
We shot for this song of his called Blood. And we shot it in Nashville in the rain. Like it was raining on us while we were trying to shoot it at night. And we kind of leaned into this kind of dark city, kind of Gotham kind of vibe. And that was kind of the theme he was playing with. And we had a ton of fun, just me and him running around the city and like coming up with ideas. And then we shot a few other kind of performance/lyric video things for some stuff. And that's what I think I showed you at one point.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know if you remember that. And then I don't know if that's completely what did it, but I think that's what might have kind of made you be like, oh, there's a potential that Garrett
can shoot videos. Yeah. Yeah, because there wasn't anything that was like Parabolic.
Yeah. So then I did Parabolic with you. Yeah. And then you were like, kind of let me loose on the edit. And you're like, I know what, you were like, I know the vibe. I know what the outfit's going to be. I know the setting we wanted in and the overall structure. But there was no like hard format on the edit. It was just like, let's get a few solid performance shots.
Yeah.
And just run with it. Yeah. So I did that, made it how I wanted it to. And I'm sure we had some revisions, but you seemed pretty happy with it right away. And people had a pretty positive response to it. And I wasn't sure because I was like, this seems so out of the box.
Yeah. We were majoring on like the aesthetic for Parabolic, like the sub-rural street culture.
Yes.
Trademarked. Patent pending.
Nobody used that.
But yeah, no, the mixture of like hip hop culture and rural culture.
Yeah.
Like hadn't really seen that displayed visually, especially from a hip hop perspective.
Yeah.
And so that was the main idea. And then it was like, okay, we got setting, we got wardrobe.
Yeah.
Like, how do we drive this home visually? And I still think Parabolic is like one of the best depictions of that, like to this day.
Yeah, I think so too. Where we really like had an aesthetic and matched it perfectly.
Yeah.
Willie was the next one.
Yeah.
And that one was very intimidating to me. It was very intimidating. That's one that I definitely was like, wow, this is our second one, and this is what he wants me to do.
Yeah.
And I was like, just go for it. Just go for it. And so same kind of energy. You were like, but you know, and I made sure I kind of structured out a plan for the edit and what things would look like. So I came to you with more ideas of like specific edits and like specific. I think that was probably the first time that I like came to you with like, I have this effect or edit or thing in mind to where we're gonna have to film it a certain way to pull it off. And then a lot of it was just us running around location having fun, like you and Andy and me. So like we did that, we shot that one, and that's a good example of somewhere where probably the first time we like decided, okay, I'm gonna push this. Yeah. And you might have not like fully understood what the idea was. Yeah. But we're kind of just trusting me in the process, and then it kind of like turned out like how I wanted it to in the edit. Like everything about Willie in the moment, pretty much for me turned out how I wanted it to. Yeah, bro, so I was very satisfied with that.
All your videos, like all of them, whether they're mine or not, I feel like they're all underrated. I feel like at any time your entire like catalog of videos could just like blow up. But Willie specifically, bro, like that idea was so fire and really like came to life. Like it like it's us robbing ourselves. Yeah. Like
That's the thing. I was like, hold on.
That's what I'm talking when I say
I'm
like a big
what,
idea of like you're coming to the table with like I've got it.
Dude, and I was like, yeah, I was so sold on it.
Yeah.
I was but that was the problem is I know I'm completely sold on it.
Yeah, and you got to sell the artist.
And I got to sell it to you.
Yeah.
And in this case, I know we're filming with Andy, and it was the first time I like done anything with Andy. Will
he be good with it?
And I was like, what is he gonna think? And and like what we've been doing is like such like one man band. Like sometimes we get some extra people to help, but like everything I do is like pretty much a one man band kind of thing. That's almost kind of how I pitch myself as being like, I can come in, give you high value for like low impact on the like team needed, you know? And so it was literally just me filming there. And I'm like, I'm going to be there. Andy's going to show up. I think I've got Dill on the idea for the most part, but we're going to be at this great location and it's just going to be me and my camera and saying, here's the idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so you're playing these two characters, right? But then also you're also both of you playing the other two characters. So you're like clones of, but you're yourselves, but you're not actually the same characters. You two are two different characters, but it's like two different versions of you. And then okay, so these two versions, they're like robbing the house, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so hold on, stay with me. Like it was like that kind of feeling inside, and I'm like driving on the way down, like, there's just no way that they're gonna like fully understand what I'm thinking in my brain. Even though I made the treatment, I tried my best. Yeah. But like it was a learning curve for me.
Something I love about your ideas is like I feel like you're already seeing the finished product and you can correct me if you're wrong, and you're seeing like how it will look to the viewer's eyes. And so especially early on when you would be pitching me ideas, or even with Willie, like even when you would do a treatment, which is kind of like a treatment kind of explains how the video is going to go, the flow of the video. There's some images in there to kind of give you the aesthetic of the video and the feel.
Right.
But your treatments aren't like I've gotten treatments from other like directors, and they're like very linear. They're very like almost like, you know, like reading a book. Yeah. And yours is very much like an aesthetic, a feeling, and there's a couple notes about, you know, and so when I would pull up to a shoot, I'm like 75% like bought in, but I'm just like, especially for the first few, I'm like, all right, like I don't fully know exactly what I'm doing.
I always feel like, the empty 25%.
Yeah. Every time. Like, okay, so what? Like you've heard me say that. Like, so what am I doing again in this scene? Like even with Willie, like which I felt like I had a grasp on. Like when I had the black clothes on, I'm like, okay, so I'm just walking back and forth. Yeah. Like, you know, the scene where I'm like in the yes, I'm in the foreground on the phone, and in the background.
That's exactly the scene I was thinking about earlier when I was talking about.
I'm in the background robbing myself, but when you're shooting that, I'm just in black clothes, and you're like, okay, so walk like from point A to point B. Okay, now walk differently. Okay, now walk like in a funny way. Okay, now walk like, all right, maybe crawl this time. Like walk backwards, like twirl around as you're walking, and I'm like, what am I doing again? How is this gonna look? Because I can't picture. I'm myself, so like there's nobody in front of me.
That's why most of the time, especially those early days when we're shooting, it just came down to me being like, just trust me.
Yeah, exactly.
Please just, I promise. Yeah. And then I'm backing myself now, because now I'm telling you, just trust me. Yeah. And now in my head, I'm like, please work, because I just made him do this 10 times in 10 different ways. Yeah. He probably feels ridiculous. Yeah. And then like, I'm hoping that it turns out the way I want it to. So whenever you have a win there, it feels so good, because you're like, okay, it made all of that worth it. To where I don't look like a crazy person. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And that trust between collaborators is huge, because that's what allowed me to like fully send whatever the direction is. For example, like if you watch that scene where I'm in the foreground on the phone and I'm also in the background, I send it fully. Like I'm like in that character. Yes. I'm doing the silly walk.
Commit.
Commit. That's the word I was looking for.
Commit.
Like I fully commit, but that's because even though I had no idea what you were talking about necessarily at the moment, I'm like, I trust your artistic vision. Not only I trust like the track record, because at that point we had a track record, but also what we talked about at the beginning, like that spark of, okay, I know we're aligned creatively. Like I know that one, we want to make a great and excellent product that reflects the message of the song, that is enjoyable to the viewer, and is like real art. It's something original. It's something, you know, that we haven't seen before, and we're not even sure we can do.
Yeah.
You know, and so like trusting that vision and being like, okay, well, I trust that. I'm gonna do mine 100%.
Yeah.
So that the final product is definitely not messed up because I just didn't,
because of your part.
I didn't fully send it.
Right.
Like, I gotta trust him to do his part.
You didn't want to find out later that everything I did was it worked out, but then
if only I didn't send it because I'm skeptical, or because you know, with a lot of videos, you know, because everybody's looking at me, you know, like if you do something downtown or whatever.
You have
to have that instinct as an artist. I feel like, especially if we're talking about visual art and we're talking about like 2024, you know, now unless you have crazy amounts of money where you can shut down streets, right?
Of course, yeah.
You have to have that instinct and that thing in you that is like, once I'm on, I'm on.
Yes.
I have an ability, and I know you have this too, where you feel nervous about an idea. You feel like, I'm about to look like an idiot.
Yep.
Like, this is going to sound stupid. This is going to look stupid. All those human things, right? But then when it is action, you can just completely compartmentalize that, and you're fully in that.
Yes.
Because it's like, and I think some of that comes from probably failing at that idea.
Yeah, it does.
You've made things before where you let those things get in the way.
Yep.
So you have this idea, it's ambitious, it's right at the edge of what you know you can do, but then you're around a lot of people, and so you kind of don't deliver the line fully,
all the
or
way.
You're not as silly or as serious or as angry or loud. Loud is another one, or as loud as you should be, because you're not. And then you watch it back, and like you said, the idea was there. The whatever, the camera, the lights, everything was there, and you didn't fully send it, and so the thing doesn't connect.
It's like when you're like a little kid, especially me, if you're like making videos and you're like, or you know, you're just like playing or whatever. But if you're like, especially in my generation, where it was like, okay, we have these like cameras or phones or whatever you could like film stuff with, and you're like trying to make like a little scene with like toys or something. Yeah. And then you got your guy, like you're in your room, you got your guy that you want him to like jump off the cliff and do the thing. So instead of going, you don't want your parents to hear that. So you go, all right, I'm going to jump off.
Yeah.
Like you hear in the video that you're you know, like the explosion was like, like you don't want your parents to like yell at you, or you're like embarrassed because you don't want to like commit all the way, or like whatever it is. Like you're just nervous about it and timid. That's exactly like what comes to mind every time I'm in that headspace. Is I don't want to be. You feel like that little kid that's like, ooh, I don't want to commit. So that's absolutely true, and that's good that when an artist has that instinct, because like then like when we were shooting Willie and stuff, if that had been the opposite case, I probably would have not had the confidence and like rapport with you at the time to feel like telling you like, hey, you need to commit harder or whatever. But now I feel like I do, to where if for some reason I was like, and I would be able to notice now for sure, because you do commit. So if I felt like you weren't committing for some reason, I would be able to tell more easily, and I would have more of the confidence to let you know like, hey, I feel like you need to commit to this part harder.
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel like you would have the instinct to be like, to know you know already what I'm thinking. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I feel like a lot of directors are able to notice that stuff and pick that stuff up, but they're maybe more timid. They're also timid to correct the person and let them know, hey, you can commit a little harder. And I've tried to practice that and get better at that, not only with you, but with other artists I've worked with, to be like, hey, that was great, let's do another take, but just do this a little bit better, or do that a little bit more. And you can do it in a way where you're not like being hypercritical and just being like, you're doing it terribly. Like, that's not what you're saying. You're saying, I like everything that's going on, I just need more commitment, or I need to go that extra little level. Because again, like you said earlier, I do see something in my mind, you know what I mean? And as long as I can get you 75% there, that's all I need. Because oftentimes that's exactly what it is I have shown up with, like, maybe not the entire video, some things come out in the edit later that I wasn't expecting, but I have like scenes and things in my brain that I can play out like frame for frame. Like I know exactly what the coloring looks like, what the action looks like, what all of it, you know, and it'll change and adjust as the process goes on. But it's in here, but it's almost impossible to get what's in here. You can't get that into the other person's brain completely. So you just got to get them 75% there, let them be happy with that 75%, and then just like commit to the extra 25 and have them trust you in that process, and then get what you had in here onto the screen, basically. So that's been across the board on like any music video, any creative project that I've done.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, again, that trust, like, 75%, the other 25% is trust. It's like, man, I know he's excellent at what he does. I'm going to let him handle that. I'm going to do what I'm excellent at. I think that working with you over the years has taught me a lot about releasing control as a creative, like not trying to micromanage, not trying to, like, respecting the other person that you're working with as a creative and not clipping their wings. Yeah. Because you'll think, or for some personality types like mine, you'll think, man, if I can just control every aspect of this, then this will come out the best that it can come out. Yeah. And what you're, exactly how you want it and the best that it can come out aren't necessarily the same things. And many times they're not the same thing, especially if it's collaborative work. Yeah. So every single video that we've had, based on your treatment or us talking, I have a different thing in my head of how it should come out than how it does come out, and how it did come out is better than what my original idea was. But that's only because I can let go of stuff and say, Garrett's the director, and I trust him with that. You know what I mean? In the same way, if I decide, you know, actually I want to deliver the line like this, or what if we do this type of thing, like that same type of respect is given back. But I see a lot of and I was this way too, but a lot of up and coming artists where you can tell that it's like, oh, you told them exactly what you wanted, and it kind of is like formulaic because you're not a director. Yeah. It's the difference between an artist treating a director, and this happens frequently. Like, this still happens all the time. And some people might say it's okay or right or wrong. I don't know if there's a right or wrong, but a lot of artists will get a director for their song. Maybe it was, you know, they got the record label or whatever might have picked them, or even if it's an independent artist, they just pick somebody they know has skill sets, they know how to run a team. It's more the administrative. I need a director to be able to run the show, but it's going to be all my ideas, you know? And sometimes that works. They just want a cameraman. They want a cameraman. Yeah. And that has worked for some people, I'm sure. You know what I mean? Where they got a good cameraman and it's worked out. But I think I see a lot better results when I see a different dynamic between artists and director. You know, with people out there who major artists that have gotten directors, and you can tell they chose somebody that they see as a they see directing and video directing as like the art form, rather than just like a role, an administrative kind of position as a cameraman, like you said. They see it as like, no, this person is an artist in their own way, and they think in a creative way, and they have ideas, and ideas combined with the skill set that I don't have as the artist, you know what I mean, as the music artist. So I need to be able to trust that the way they think isn't just because I have good ideas doesn't mean it applies directly to their process. So they're the director, they know the process of filmmaking, making videos, and they have really good ideas. I'm going to trust them as an artist with their tools that they have at their disposal. And then the artist, of course, is allowed to contribute their ideas, and they work together and come together on that. But a lot of times you end up seeing just artists, they get a director, it's kind of just that role, that administrative role of like, we have a director, he can run the show, but this is all my brainchild completely. Yeah. And it's a tough balance because it is their song and it's not your song. As the director, that's not your music. But it's always works so much better when you have those kind of forces join, and you respect each other as artists rather than just, I'm the artist and you're the camera people. Yeah. You know? For sure. And that, I mean, I was thinking about like stuff we've done together, you know, President, Lighter Fluid, like, and those two especially, bro, it's like Sleeping too. It's like people always talk about the production value of those videos and how expensive they look, and it's like money can't do that. Like like my most expensive video, I won't say what it was because that's too. I feel like.
Come on.
Anyway,
man. You won't.
My most expensive video, it can't hold a candle to any of the videos that we've done together.
Yeah.
It was a label video.
Oh, okay. Right. So you didn't want to say it, but I kind of almost wanted to say it for you. I can say it.
So, but it's because of what we talked about. I didn't trust it. I don't know this director. I don't trust this person. I don't know their artistic vision or whatever. They're hired by the
artistic. You said artistic, right?
I said artistic.
Okay.
They're hired by
because I don't know most people's autistic level either.
No, artistic.
Right. I was correcting you. You said you didn't know his autistic.
No, I didn't know his artistic vision.
Gotcha. The R.
Yes.
Important to have that in there.
Yes.
Not like in a crazy way, but like
his artistic vision.
Maybe cut it out.
His artistic vision.
You can keep it in.
So
you didn't trust him. You trust me.
Trust you.
Yeah.
Right. Or I'll say this person. We don't have to.
Oh, him, her, they. You know.
And anyway, lighter fluid. President, right?
Yeah.
You got me out here like a crazy person at 6 a.m. This is what I wanted to get to. All right. Lighter fluid. It's 6 a.m. We're in whatever city that's not Nashville. Where did you have
for which scene?
It's 6 a.m. I'm in a
the field.
I'm in a ripped up suit.
Was the gas
with the dirt all over me? No, we're on the square.
Oh, and I'm stumbling
around looking drunk.
That was for president.
That was the end of President, right?
End of President. That connects it to lighter fluid.
That's why I was thinking lighter fluid because it connects it to lighter fluid.
Yeah.
But it's 6 a.m.
We're in a little town square.
We're in a small town square, right? Y'all see how I look. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, he looks great. He looks great.
In Tennessee. I
would say you were looking pretty snazzy.
Okay, I have a suit on that is torn, like purposely torn,
right?
With a white shirt, like half unbuttoned with dirt rubbed on it we rubbed on it, looking very disheveled,
right?
You know, and I'm stumbling around a town square with real people.
Yep,
trying to get to work.
Yeah, not
looking
paid.
Drunk.
Yeah,
stumbling along storefronts.
Yeah,
putting my hand on them.
But you had, but the important thing to remember, here's the thing, Dill.
Yeah.
Is you had a camera pointed at you, which makes you important.
I did have a camera. That is like one of the.
This is how society works.
Yeah.
If you have a camera pointed at you, that guy must be something.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Yeah. I that is one.
Nobody said anything. No cops were
Nobody
called.
said anything. You do look how you look though.
Right.
Which is also another.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Another little.
Well.
For that town.
Yeah.
You know, a little.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
So
explain.
Anyway, it was cold as well. But we sold it. That's the point.
Yeah,
the
we
point
did
is
sell
that it was a full send. It's all right. We're here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We committed.
It was one of those things, but it really was one of those things where it's like, I have the suit on. I know I look crazy. I know there's hundreds of cars going by. I know there's people in these storefronts that I'm walking in front of.
Yep.
And so I feel that apprehension.
Yes.
But when you say...
I felt it.
You felt it too. When you say action, it doesn't matter, bro. We got to get like...
Yeah. When action's called, action happens.
You know what I mean? Like this idea is too important. It's got to go out.
That's trademark too, by the way.
What was it? Say it again.
When action is called, action.
I wasn't.
When action is called, action happens.
When action is called,
it's not actually trademark. I just want to. No one take it.
When action is called, action happens.
Yeah. When action's called, action happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No, please. I'm gonna write that down later. Don't. If you could just not take it.
Yeah. Okay.
Someone's dying to take that right now.
I don't think so.
No, they are.
They
definitely are.
When action happens, action happens?
Close. When action's called,
action
happens.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
You get,
Yeah.
When action's called, action happens.
What is your favorite project?
That's the new slogan
that we've worked on together.
Favorite project is I just gotta say let me think.
Because we got President Lighter Fluid, Holy Smoke, Sleeping, Parabolic, Willie, Carrier Light. There's definitely more promo
There's
stuff
more
too.
Yeah, we've done a ton of random promo stuff too, like Bogley the Fright Bear.
Bogley the Fright Bear, goated. Also another one super underrated.
Yeah.
Bogley the Fright Bear.
It's genuinely honest answer. It is hard to decide. It's hard to choose because I have a lot that I like about so many of them. But when you started listing them off there, one that kind of did like a little dopamine hit in my brain was Sleeping.
Yeah, Sleeping
was a lot of fun to make.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I had like a lot of fun making that.
Yeah.
Because there was like some stressful parts about it on my end because I had some ideas that I just had to follow through with myself on like making items and like props and things.
That massive pill bottle
With the big pill.
Yeah.
Like I just had to commit to making some stuff.
Yeah.
On my part, that I was like, okay, realistically, there's a professional that can do this 10 times better.
Yeah.
But I think I can make it good enough for the camera, like for what we need it to be. And I think I followed through on that. I had to get a backdrop ordered and stuff like that. I was doing a lot of ideas, again, pushing it past what is technically possible with time, budget, all that stuff.
Right. You said this is what I'm talking about. You were like, we need a giant pill bottle. In the video. That was the idea. And then the mechanics for it were, I'll make it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I'm going to make it.
And I didn't know.
And you did you tried to do it one way.
It didn't work.
And it didn't work.
What I ended up doing was getting a trash can with a flip top.
Yeah.
That was like medium size, decent size enough to be big enough to where it's like obnoxious and crazy.
Yeah.
And painted it purple so it matched the colors of the video we wanted, and made the top look more like a pill cap or whatever. And just put like a paper sticker label on it. That wasn't that crazy. That could have been better, but like,
no, but it worked.
Yeah,
bro.
and then okay, that looks like it now. We can actually have Dill like interact with it or hold it or whatever we want to. And then same thing with the pill. Like that became a big part because you could actually hold it. Yeah, it wasn't like a CGI thing.
Yeah.
Like we could actually have a physical pill that you can hold, and that was again just some like styrofoam pieces and paper, paint, like all put together.
Yeah.
Good enough for camera. And like same thing with the bed.
Yeah.
And with the sheep. Like we wanted
that I want you guys to know that scene with the bed and the sheep.
That was so fun.
It is a bed that
it's all real.
Did we put the bed together in the field?
We put the bed together in the field because I Facebook Marketplaced an old bed frame. Rusty old, like ancient looking bed frame, like Victorian era looking bed frame.
Yeah.
And like put those metal pieces together. It's just like one of those 3-piece sets that you put together. And then I had like a mattress from my parents' house somewhere that was like extra laying around. Borrowed that from them. We got the bed sheets. We had your outfit, all that stuff.
Yeah, you got me out in silk pajamas in War Trace, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Shout out Brian Hayes for letting us use
with the sheep.
His house. Real sheep.
They
were
that was just
different levels of interest from the sheep.
Different levels.
Some liked the video. Some
few divas. Yeah. Few divas.
Was it goats or sheep?
It was sheep, but they were like sheared, so they kind of looked like goats.
Yeah.
Because we've done goats another time.
Yeah.
We've run the gamut.
That's right.
That was like super. That was kind of like oddly satisfying to like have all that come together, because I did put a lot of work into making the pill bottle, the backdrop, the bed, the pill. Like I had a lot of pieces to pull together all on my own, and all those things pretty much came together. And like when we're filming out there, all the way out there in the middle of nowhere, Tennessee, with sheep, and we're putting this bed together, you're in that fit. Something about that, I think it was good weather that day. Like it was like sunny out.
Yeah, it was sunny.
And so it was just like, it just felt fun. Like what we were doing was like, oh, it's working, and like it's coming together. And I feel like the performances felt good, and it was like chill. Like when all that's happening, and you can still, I think that's what's fun about like some of our shoots with how low crew it is. It would just be me and you a lot of times. Is if the pieces are coming together and there's maybe a few other people on set that we can interact with and have a good time and chit chat, and we're still getting the shots and they're turning out great and they're fun, the takes are great, those are the best moments when you're making a video, because you're like, everything's working, everything's coming together, and we're having a good time.
Yeah.
And it's like not stressful. You know, you have the stressful scenes, the things where you're like, we have 30 minutes with this helicopter.
Yeah, bro.
And we have to get it now, you know?
Helicopters, goats, sheep, you know what I mean?
And sometimes I push it a little too far in the edit. Like with the town square, wish I would have taken some of that fire out. Doesn't look great.
You don't like it?
Some of it I like, but wish I would have taken some of it out. I look at that scene now and hate myself every time, because I just didn't feel like that's where I feel like I broke it.
Okay, that was one of the moments.
But that's in post.
Yeah.
Where I felt like, okay, the shot is great. I need to spice it up with some VFX. And it was probably like a last minute decision. Yeah. Didn't have again.
It still looks good. You just think that
I went beyond a
little bit more subtle would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was doing more than my skill set at that moment.
Yeah.
I would have had to take more time to learn how to do that better. And we didn't have the time to learn how to do that better. So that's an example, a weird example of where I feel like I broke it a little bit. But I'll say our track record, our scorecard is for pushing it too far and coming out okay on the other side. It's a pretty good scorecard.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Not to brag, you know. But to brag.
Which one?
Well, just about everything, pretty much.
No, I'm saying, is it to brag or not to brag?
That is the question.
Okay. All right. So you have the Indie Tribe documentary too.
Oh yeah. What about it?
Well, I know. I just thought of that as I was about to ask the next thing. It's you did that whole
one that I actually did.
Yeah. Yes, the first one.
Still second one coming out in 2030.
People are in my comments, especially since I just dropped the mini doc for my album. When's the next Indie Tribe one? We need it.
Yeah, I don't know.
You made a lot of fans with the first one.
I did. And I know I let a lot of people down, including myself, but it could still come out. It's still there.
It should come out.
But at this point, it feels like
no, it
needs to be behind a paywall.
I feel like it should be the opposite, because the fans are starved.
It's like a relic now, you know?
They're starved. They deserve it. You know what I mean?
Well, I'll get to it.
No paywall.
It was one of those things where we have a lot of great footage from it, but I had a whole different intention going into it.
Yeah.
And then I feel like I kind of didn't know how to feel about it after should I revert back to the original documentary? And then it just got back shelved.
Yeah.
And then I never returned, but I can return.
Well, you just spent this whole podcast talking about how you make something out of nothing. So this podcast isn't going to help your case at all. People are going to be like, bro, whatever, make it work. You made a huge pill bottle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You put fire in the sky. You corralled a bunch of different farm animals.
Yeah, guys. So go to my Patreon. You can see it there. All right.
Yeah, his Patreon is actually on Cash App at $Indie Tribe. It's a weird type of Patreon thing.
Yeah.
Patreon Cash App collab, $Indie Tribe. Just send whatever's on your heart there, and that will help him finish the documentary.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Right. That's a good plan. I didn't know that either. So
yeah, we'll hammer out the details later. But
my people talk to your people.
Indie Tribe on Cash App.
Yeah, that's how you access the Patreon.
Right. Just
remember
one more time. Not on Patreon, on Cash App. $INDIE TRIBE.
To support CINEMADDOX's Patreon.
Right, in a roundabout kind of way.
It all kind of works out. It all kind of works out in honestly, a pretty new revolutionary kind of way.
Yeah. YouTube is definitely going to demonetize this. The AI can definitely tell that we're saying other platforms, I think.
Other platforms? You think they have a problem with that?
I don't know.
I think that I don't think they do.
Way over my head. I have no idea.
I mean, I think that you can say any platform you want to say.
But I can say send me money on a platform.
Yeah, you definitely can.
They don't care.
YouTube doesn't care.
Okay, Indie Tribe.
Yeah. Should I give my PayPal? I'll give my PayPal.
No, we'll handle everything. Okay. We'll just so that there's not confusion on where do I send it to? We'll make sure Indie Tribe. It'll take care of everything.
I mean, here's my account number and my routing number. I'll say it right now.
No, it's all good.
Okay.
We'll figure it out.
Not even my social?
No.
Okay.
You can give that to me after.
Okay.
All right. So you are obviously, humor plays a big part in.
Is it obvious?
Yeah, it's very obvious.
I was trying to be subtle.
In your creative process, but that's also just like who you are.
Yeah.
Like before, like the cameras were on or anything, we like, anytime we talk, like humor is going to be a part of it.
Have a good time.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think that like, because a lot of your visuals, there's not necessarily, I mean, a lot there is humor in it, but some of them, there's not humor, but do you think kind of having that like humor instinct and kind of the lens that you see the world through helps you with even your non-comedic?
I think it does.
Visuals?
I think it does. And
how would you say that it affects it? Like,
I'd say so the question is, how does like humor kind of play into just my creative processes in general?
Specifically in non-comedic ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it plays a part probably more than I realize, because a lot of times any funny stuff I'm doing, whether it's on purpose or not, I just like having a good time, joking around and like doing bits and stuff. Like I'm like a bit guy. So I'm like, how can I kind of like help, like let's escape reality for a second and like do a bit, you know, like whatever it is. So that I love that play. Like play is so fun with people. Yeah. And I think it's a big part of why, like what helps me almost establish relationships with people is like I can go into play bit mode with people. And if they can do it back, I'm like, this person's my favorite person. You know, like it's awesome. So I think that plays into the overall creative process, even if something's not meant to be funny inherently, like it helps me kind of like, okay, how does this situation play out? Like if I'm doing like a story-based thing. Or like if it's more of a serious tone, or if it's just like a music video that's not like the point is to be funny, it still helps to be able to like interject like moments of levity or like a little cheeky moment that isn't supposed to be like silly, goofy, haha. But like as it helps, I think it helps bring out the personality of the artist or whoever it is that I'm making a video for. Even if the point isn't let's be silly, goofy, this is a comedy hour, it helps elevate people's that side of people's personality, the lighter side of them. Even if it's like a topic or something that's supposed to be not as light. I think it's always important to have that perspective of like, how do we lighten the mood a little bit, or how do we find some levity in this, whether to shine more light on the contrast of that, or to just kind of allow the person to like play in that zone and not like feel like the entire thing has to be just you know, all serious all the time. You know, like I think when you're able to kind of combine those two things together and weave them together, there's like a weird relationship there between like humor and comedy and like lightness, like a light mood and like more serious tones, that when they find like they kind of place together somehow and like work with each other, there's like a special thing there that I can't really describe. Yeah, so I think it does affect everything. That fact I'm even able to just work with somebody and like joke around with them or have a rapport with them as we're working or whatever. Like it all plays into just morale and like the, you know, relationship and all that kind of stuff. I also think like with, like you said, you like to do bits, and like kind of part of like doing bits is like, what if this happened, or what if I said this, or what if this hypothetical situation was happening. You're experimenting, and I think I see that come out in your music videos, whether, like you said, whether it's supposed to be funny or not. When people watch your videos, they can see, if they're looking for it, they can see moments where it was like, what if we did this, you know, or what if, you know. And I just think that humor is so much bigger than I'm telling a joke. You know, like for example, in President, the video where we're doing the, like we're kind of recreating the George W. Bush, like for the promo, the dude throwing the sandal at him and him ducking. Like I love that. There's no joke to even the actual clip, but it's funny though. It's very funny. And that's, I think that's the thing that I'm getting at, is like that situation wasn't funny.
like somebody was throwing a shoe at like the president, and Secret Service had to react. You know what I mean? And he's obviously trying not to get hit with a shoe. Like on paper, this is not a funny thing.
Yeah.
But when you watch it, especially a little bit removed from it,
it's hilarious.
Bro. It's like so hilarious outside of that context.
And to play that as like the character of the after is even funnier, because a lot of the things I enjoy comedically, like content to watch or like skits or whatever it is. And I think that's why I end up leaning into it when I do go to that side of my work. And I would love to explore it even further. I want to go even deeper into this kind of stuff. But like my favorite type of stuff is when things are played completely straight.
Yes.
And played completely like they're supposed to be normal. But the audience and the person making it knows this is supposed to be a joke. You know what I mean? And it's not trying to be deceptive or like a gotcha thing. It's like this character, this thing, I'm playing it completely straight.
Committed to it.
I'm committed.
Yeah.
But the joke is there. The humor is in that, in like playing it straight and not just being like, all right, I'm about to be silly and goofy and do the joke thing.
That's my favorite too.
It's like, no, this is being like there's shows out there and things that like they're playing it completely straight, but the whole thing is hilarious. And it's supposed to be. It's on purpose. Yeah. But it's like almost because they're recreating a scenario or playing a certain type of archetype or something of a character that we all know this is ridiculous. Like it's the writing. The writing is ridiculous. But it's being played so straight and sincere that combination between playing it straight and serious, but the writing is funny. That combo is like awesome to me.
That's like, I mean, that made me think of the Now Watch This Drive part of President promotion that we did. Like, another hilarious moment. And it's like, I had to play. It's like, if I kind of laugh or if I give a little bit that, this is haha, like, oh yeah, now watch this drive, then like it doesn't hit. No. But I have to be fully like, in character, like because that's what makes it funny. The situation,
you hitting the golf ball with a straight face after saying that, like jump cuts to you just making a drive and like looking off as if you're staring at the golf ball, like seeing where it goes. Those are the things that make it funny. Oh, it wouldn't have been nearly as funny if you went, now watch this drive, and then like hit it and were kind of like smiling, laughing as you did it. That's not as funny. It's way funnier for you to be 100% committed to that thing. So that's like what I lean into more often, and I like that you like that more. That's definitely like something that we agree on when we do stuff like that occasionally. Is you're someone that's, I know that because you're someone that's willing to play. You're willing to do, when we get silly or I go into a bit with you. You're willing to play.
Sometimes it's hard to keep up. But I do yes and.
Well,
I try to yes and.
And for that.
Wait, what?
That was for the barbers.
Oh, okay. I forgot what hat I have on. I've caught up.
Oh, you're wearing a.
I've caught up.
That's crazy.
We didn't talk about.
I didn't even.
I'm gonna be honest. We didn't talk about your faith at all, so people think you hate God.
Yeah. Oh. Oh no, definitely not.
Yeah, let's just clear it up right now.
Definitely not.
So, do you hate God?
No, I salute God.
You salute God. Okay.
I should have that.
And how?
I love God.
I love Jesus. 37 seconds or less, how does your faith influence what you do artistically?
You want me to do an elevator?
37 seconds.
You want me to do an elevator pitch
35.
on my faith?
32.
Okay. Wait. Repeat the question.
How does your faith influence what you do creatively?
Okay. How does my faith influence what I do creatively? The way my faith interacts with my creativity is a very special relationship, because I kind of treat my creative instincts almost like similar to my instincts with my relationship with God. Like what I feel spiritually, what I feel like the Holy Spirit moves me to do, a lot of times just in life, doesn't always feel too dissimilar, disconnected from my what I'd call my creative instincts. It's almost, I don't want to say that like every single creative idea I have is like that was given by God, sometimes they are inspired, but like sometimes that crossover, that Venn diagram of like just kind of life instincts, the Holy Spirit kind of moving inside, and then those creative instincts, those feelings oftentimes feel the same. So there's something working together there that even if it's not like, oh, God planted this idea directly in my head, there's an instinct that kind of feels the same. And sometimes it might be literally that, but sometimes it might just be I'm pulling from the same source, just for different reasons, and I might have an idea or a creative idea. And sometimes I have prayed about projects or ideas, and God give me the peace of mind or the clarity of mind to think of the ideas I need to and be in the right headspace. Those things work together. Like if I'm not where I need to be, like it doesn't have to be 100%, but if I'm not where I need to be in the right headspace spiritually, or if I'm not like a season of prayer or anything like that, my entire mind space is totally like not off and not right. And there's a like obvious, painfully obvious difference when I'm like in that headspace or not. And it is directly correlated with like where I'm at with my faith and relationship with God at that moment. So I think I am more creatively energized, or have more of a knack of like feeling out and receiving ideas and acting on those ideas, or at least trying to act on those ideas, more likely when I'm like in a good headspace and heart like relationship with God at the moment. There's definitely a correlation there somewhere.
Yeah, I resonate with that 100%. Yeah, I'm exactly the same.
Because it's all the same source.
Yeah.
So it's not, I'm not pulling from a different reservoir for creative stuff, you know, and then like, okay, I got life issues. I pull from, you know, that reservoir, and then this over here. It's all the same source, because that stuff was given to me. You know, I didn't just create that in my own.
That's right.
So it's all gifts and talents and abilities and, you know, doing the work and all that kind of stuff. Like I got to put, that's the thing I'm always thinking about, is I got to put, I can't say, God help me here, God help me here, God help me do this. He definitely can and will and could, all those things. But I feel like I got to put in my part. You know what I mean? I got to meet him halfway. It feels like, at least I don't want to try to meet him halfway so that I can like, you know, not that like God can't do something for somebody who doesn't meet him halfway. But for me, I feel like a responsibility oftentimes for most things in my life to be like, all right, God, if I'm being expectant for this or really want this to work out this way, if it's your way and your will, let me do the work I need to do to meet you halfway to get there. You know what I mean? And not just sit here and say, all right, do that for me. I have faith, you know, I want to meet you halfway with that faith and like show you that I'm back to commitment. I'm committed. If I'm going to ask for pray in faith for this thing, I'm going to show you that I'm committed to that as well by doing my part.
Well, you gotta work out that faith.
Yeah.
Like it's not faith if you're not working it out. If there's no outward, if there's no action based on what you're believing, then how do we know we believe anything?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Literally anything. How do we know that we believe it? Well, by the actions that we take that use that belief as a foundation.
Yeah, part of that, you have to take the steps necessary to show it to act out in your life, to reveal itself in your life, whatever that situation in your life might be. You have to also, you know, put in that effort to allow it to reveal itself. Yeah. Or else it's just gonna, you know, be wasted potential of this could happen or that couldn't happen, but you're not willing to explore if it's even there. You know, you're just sitting around hoping, you know, and you gotta for the most part, you gotta just be willing to go out on a limb for yourself and be like, okay, God, I trust you, and I trust you by, here's me showing you that I trust you, is I'm going out on the limb and doing it, you know. It's not really going out on a limb just praying something and hoping it works, you know what I mean? You're not really like sacrificing anything of yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. 100%. All right, I have no segue, but we're going into the control room. You ready?
What's the control room?
Oh, okay. So you don't listen to the podcast.
I do, but I just want to
control room, rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Got to answer with the first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
You ready?
Okay.
What's the most unexpected thing that inspired one of your creative projects?
When the I would shoot. Dang it. We can't cut?
No, we can't.
Oh, no. Shoot. Wait, unexpected?
Yeah. Control room got you.
It got me.
Okay, what's the most absurd criticism you've ever received about your work?
Wait, can we go back to that question?
We can't. What's the most absurd criticism you've ever received about your work, and how did you respond?
Absurd? Probably that it was just too inspiring. I don't have one.
What's the strangest talent that you have that no one knows about?
Strangest talent? Oh, I got this.
Okay.
Strangest talent. I got this. Yeah. Probably that. Probably this.
What was that?
You didn't get a good view of it?
Okay, for the listeners, he's bending his thumb back and it's touching his wrist. He's double jointed.
Yeah, I went back to like 3rd grade on that one.
Okay, what's your favorite No Big Deal lyric?
I regret that last one. Can we do it again?
What is your specific problem that you have with John Keith?
Wait. What was the one before that?
Doesn't matter.
The lyric?
We need it.
Because I have a lyric.
No. We need the problem.
With John?
Yes.
Specific problem I have with John Keith. Probably that he will never, ever get fat.
Oh, this is a good one.
Yeah, he will never get fat, nor has he ever been fat.
No. Keep it rolling. Keep going.
Yeah, he is always... He will never get fat. He's never been fat. And the reason I see that as an issue is because we as human beings we as Americans have the right and the freedom to experience all spectrums of body composition across our lifespan.
Right.
The good and the bad, and you can find good and bad in all of them.
Yeah.
Obviously, you want to be fit and you want to achieve. Yeah, of course, that's what we're all achieving. But to never experience the subtle joys of just being fat once.
Yeah.
And the torture.
Yeah.
And the pain of being fat once.
Yeah.
Everyone's got their levels, but if you've been through it at some point in your life, you learn so much. You really grow as a person.
When you put it like it really is an American unalienable right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's an American right.
When you put it like that, it's kind of like his metabolism is communist.
It is a bit communist. It's a bit communist. He's got a bit of a Russian kind of lean to his metabolism.
True. I feel like that.
The tilt is a little bit Russian of him. And so it's truly American to experience being like skinny, getting fat, going skinny again, maybe getting fat again, and then being fit and finding a balance in your life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
John Keith has a communist metabolism.
He has communist metabolism.
He should be deported to Russia.
Yeah.
I agree. This has been Creative Control. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We'll see y'all next time.